I still remember that night, the one that began like any other but changed the way I looked at people forever. It was cold, the kind of cold that makes silence heavier. The city lights blurred through my windshield as I pulled up in front of her house. We just finished our late shift, Emma and I. She was quiet the whole ride, hands tucked into her sleeves, eyes lost somewhere beyond the streetlights. She lived just a few blocks away from the diner, but tonight she'd asked if I could drop her off instead of walking. That wasn't like her. Emma was the kind of person who'd walk through a snowstorm with a smile. So yeah, I knew something was off. When we reached her house, I parked by the curb, turned off the engine, and said softly, "We're here." She didn't move. She just stared at the house. The porch light was off, the windows dark. Then, after what felt like forever, she whispered, "Can we just stay here a little longer?" I didn't ask why. I just nodded. Sometimes silence says more than words ever could. We sat there for a while, the hum of the streetlight outside, the only sound between us. I watched her fingers fidget with the frayed edge of her sleeve. She looked small, fragile, in a way I'd never seen before. Finally, she said, "You ever have a place that's supposed to feel like home, but it doesn't?" I turned to her, unsure what to say. "Yeah," I said quietly. "Yeah, I think everyone does." She smiled. Not the real kind, just the kind people wear when they're trying not to fall apart. Then she took a deep breath. "My mom's been drinking again. When she's like that, it's better if I stay out late. Sometimes I just drive around until I see the sunrise." I didn't know what to say. I'd worked beside Emma for months, laughing over spilled coffee orders, joking with customers, and not once had she hinted at this. I thought about how often we think we know people just because we see their smiles every day, but behind that smile there might be a battle we'll never see unless they trust us enough to let us. So I asked, "Do you want to grab something to eat? Somewhere quiet." She looked at me, surprised, then nodded. We found a little all-night diner a few miles away, one of those old ones that smelled like pancakes and burnt coffee. We ordered fries and shared stories, real stories. She talked about her little brother, how she used to sneak food for him when their mom's money ran out, about how she wanted to study nursing but had to work double shifts instead. And somewhere between the laughter and the truth, the heaviness in her voice started to lift. When I dropped her back off hours later, dawn was brushing pink across the sky. She looked at her house again, this time with a little more strength in her eyes. Then she said, "Thanks for not asking me to explain right away. Sometimes it's enough just to not feel alone." I nodded, smiling softly. "You're never alone, Emma. Not anymore." She squeezed my hand before stepping out of the car, and for the first time that night she smiled, really smiled. As I drove home, I thought about how easy it is to save someone's night. Not with money, not with advice, but with patience. Just showing up, staying a little longer when someone needs it. Because sometimes the kindest thing we can do is to sit with someone in their quiet pain until they find the courage to stand up again. Moral, sometimes compassion isn't about fixing someone's problems. It's about standing still beside them until the storm passes. And often that small act of kindness becomes the moment they start to heal. We reached her house, but she said, "Can we just stay here?"